and welcome to beautiful Coolangatta Beach for the Coolangatta Gold, one of the most iconic races on the surf sports calendar. It has been a long time coming for this massive endurance race, and joining me today is former Coolangatta Gold Ironman champ Josh Minogue. Josh, tell us what makes this race so special.
Thanks, Jenny. It's the longest and hardest race in surf sports. It brings together some of the best athletes in the world, and it may be the only race in the world that started with a movie over 40 years ago, so we've got that little bit of something to do it. It's definitely a torture test. The guys and girls are going to be in for it today. We kick things off with a 23-kilometre ski leg. We'll head into a 1K soft sand run, 3.5K swim, 6.5K board paddle, and if that's not enough, they've got an 8-kilometre run to finish, and then they get all the chocolates at the end. It is going to be a huge race.
Absolutely, and things are a little bit different this year. All of the transitions have been centralised down here in Coolangatta, meaning that we have the best seat on the beach for all of this amazing action.
That's exactly right. COVID changes everything, and the Coolangatta Gold's no different. Normally, we start at Coolangatta, head up to Surfers Paradise, and then make our way back down. But today, they'll head out on the ski, bring it back to the beach here, head out on the swim and bring it back. And that means we're going to have some really, really tight racing all day long. The guys will be able to see each other a lot more, and I reckon we're in for some really tight finishes.
Which is what we want to see. We saw that amazing sprint finish last year, but the conditions may play a part this year. It's hot already down here on Coolangatta Beach, a slight breeze but not a wave in the ocean. That is going to make for some tough racing.
That's exactly right. It's completely flat. There's a little north-northwest wind coming through. Temperatures expected to get to high 20s, low 30s throughout the day, which will make the run very, very tough. No help at all on any of the ocean legs, so that'll keep the race very, very tight out there. It'll make it tough for some of the guys, and we're going to find out who's done the work in the off-season.
And a pretty tight field today, a few defending champions in the mix, and Ali Day potentially making history.
That's exactly right. Ali Day already had 6 titles. He's looking for his 7th. Matt Bevilacqua, the defending champion. This is the first time ever on the men's side we've had 2 people who've won the race go head-to-head. On the girls' side, we've got 3 former champions going around, and Courtney Hancock looking to make a record-breaking 4th title win. Lana Rogers, the defending champ, and, well, there's plenty of girls who can take the title.
Absolutely. Well, earlier today, we caught up with Corey Taylor, one of the men looking to be the first Kiwi to take out the iconic Coolangatta Gold.
Corey Taylor, 3 years since we've done the gold, mate. It's been a long time coming. How are you feeling heading in?
Yeah, Joshy, I'm a little bit nervous for it. Like you said, 3 years ago, and the last time I had a crack down here was 2019, and it didn't end well. I ended up pulling out in the swim after a bit of bad prep. We're in France and South Africa, so a little nervous. Hopefully get it through today and stay with the boys at the front and see how we go.
Does this feel like redemption for you?
It kind of does. I'm kind of excited to see how we go. Myself, Matt Bevilacqua and Joe have put in a good, I think we're week 24 now because of COVID, keep pushing it back, so we've done 24 weeks of sort of solid work, so it'll be good to see how that all stacks up today for us.
Having Matt Bevilacqua, Joe Collins, training partners and club mates there, are you guys going to plan on working together, or is it every man for themselves?
We haven't talked about anything. I think we'll just get out there, and I think the boys know it's a long day, so if everyone's sort of around each other, even the other boys from the other clubs, we know it's in our best interest to sort of stay together and sort of see what we can do, because you don't want to be a lone soldier out there on a day like this today and then 3.5 hours in the sun and that creeps up on you.
Alrighty, Georgia Miller, former champ, lining up for the gold again. Excited to see you on the start list.
Yeah, it was a very late entry on my behalf. I actually entered on Thursday night. It's now Sunday, so a quick turnaround. I've had a full week of training, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting out there. It's such a tough event, and I know it'll really set me up for the summer ahead.
It feels like forever since we've raced the Coolangatta Gold. It's lovely to see so many competitors lining up. It feels a little bit different this year, though.
Yeah, it does. It is definitely a change having it all based out of Coolangatta, but I think it's a good way to shake things up, and I'm not really expecting too much. I'm just going to go out there and make sure I finish with a big smile on my face.
Now, you had an amazing season last year, absolutely huge, and you've had a lovely off-season. Are you taking some confidence into the new year?
Look, I am. It's hard to forget what happened at Aussies. It was, it was an incredible thing, but there's always something else to look forward to. So, yeah, going into the new year, I'm really looking forward to racing in the Nutri-Grain Iron Woman Series. So, yeah, it's going to be a big summer, but I think we're all ready to race, and yeah, we just need these borders open and we'll be good to go.
Well, the talking's been done and the training is finished. There's only one thing left to do, and that is to race the iconic Coolangatta Gold. And calling today's iconic race is Sam Joden in the commentary box.
Thank you, Josh. It looks beautiful on Coolangatta Beach at the moment, but there is pain on the way for our competitors. Hello and welcome to the 2021 Coolangatta Gold. My name is Sam Jordan, and alongside me in commentary is Ironwoman star Gemma Smith. Gemma, it's the most gruelling race on the calendar.
It sure is, Sam. It's going to be a very tough day of racing out there for the athletes today, but I cannot wait to watch all of the action unfold.
And we are not too far away from a start. You can just see our competitors getting the final briefing. The nerves are setting in ahead of what is going to be a long day of racing. And Gemma, although the field is a little bit smaller due to COVID restrictions across the country, it is a star-studded lineup.
It sure is. We've got some really high-class athletes lining up in the gold today. We've got Matt Bevilacqua, the reigning champion from 2019, backing up against Ali Day, 6-time Coolangatta Gold champion. We've also got the young gun Joe Collins lining up, Wes Gould, Nathan Gray, Taddy McDonald, Simon Murfitt and Corey Taylor to round out the men's field.
Yeah, that's right. It's not the biggest field that we've seen in the Coolangatta Gold, but it is packed with stars, and the female division typifies that, Gemma.
It sure does. The female division is red hot today. We've got Lana Rogers backing up from the 2019 Coolangatta Gold win, up against Courtney Hancock, who is of course a 3-times champion in this race. We've also got Danielle McKenzie, a really strong ski paddler in the field. Georgia Miller, who had a fantastic season last year, lining up against Ali Bull as well.
And we are not too far away from a start in the Coolangatta Gold. All the action will be back just after this. Welcome back to the 2021 Coolangatta Gold, supported by the Queensland Government through Tourism and Events Queensland, the home of world-class events and world-class surf as well. It's an ocean paradise, but for our competitors today here at Coolangatta Beach, it is going to be tough going. Our athletes just getting ready for the main event of the Coolangatta Gold Carnival, Gemma, but already we've seen so much action this weekend.
Yeah, we certainly have. There's been a full weekend of racing. So yesterday we started off with the short course Coolangatta Gold, which is a shortened version of the race that's on today, the longer course. But we also had the Youth Challenge, so some of the nippers getting out there involved in the Youth Challenge, which was fantastic to see. We've also seen some of the team events. We've got teams for the short course and the long course Coolangatta Gold. So it's a big weekend of racing, but it's certainly going to finalise today with this long course.
It's a celebration of surf sports racing, the Coolangatta Gold, and that was in full swing yesterday when competitors lined up for our short course action. The 21-kilometre short course kicked off the weekend of racing at Coolangatta and is traditionally held on the Saturday before the long course takes centre stage on Sunday. The short course encompasses a 10.5-kilometre ski leg, followed by a 2-kilometre swim, 3-kilometre board paddle, and a 5.5-kilometre run to finish it off. It's half the length of the iconic 42-kilometre Coolangatta Gold, making it the perfect introduction to the endurance race. It's open to competitors aged 17 and older and sees entrants across under 17, under 19, Opens and Masters categories challenge themselves and each other. Teams of up to 4 people can also enter to complete the 21-kilometre challenge. 20-year-old Finn Askew from Surfers Paradise and 19-year-old Electra Outram from Noosa Heads dominated the 2021 short course at the front of the field from start to finish. Months of preparation and sacrifice are just about to come to fruition. Our competitors are making their way into the water for the start of the Coolangatta Gold, a 23-kilometre ski leg to kick things off. Gee, you can see the steely look on their faces. Gemma, no doubt the nerves are starting to rise now.
For sure, this is when the nerves really start to kick in. The race is about to head underway. You can see the athletes entering the water now with their skis, getting ready for that ski start. They're starting like a traditional ski race. They're going to jump on their skis and head out to a can before they make the turn to head north up the coast.
And some big decisions to make as well, Gemma. It is a long race, but we are going to see some pace at the start as they jostle for position. How important is that to set that up?
For sure, it's certainly really important to make sure you get a good, clean start off that beach. You'll see the athletes will head, like they are now, straight off the beach, straight out to sea to a can. You can see the pace is really on.
So the 2021 Coolangatta Gold is now underway, and as you can see, those athletes are not holding back. Ali Day making his way to the front of the field already. Corey Taylor, it looks like on his outside, is starting to surge to the front as they jostle for position, trying to get into that pack, because the fact that today's conditions are so flat, they are going to work in a bunch. They're going to sit on each other's wash, conserve their energy, and take turns sharing the lead throughout the race, Gemma.
Yep, you can see there Ali Day's made a really strong start. You can see off his side wash there, though, you've got Matt Bevilacqua on his inside. He'll be looking to hang on to Ali Day as he tries to make a really cracking start to this race.
And that is how we expect today's race to go. Matt Bevilacqua, a former Coolangatta Gold champion, trying to go with Ali Day, the 6-time champion. He's the most successful athlete that this event has ever seen, and there's a very, very good reason for that. He just seems to be able to grind through the pain, Gemma, time after time.
He sure does. He's unbelievable over this race distance. I know it's one of his favourite races to compete in, and it's no doubt why. He's so good at racing over this distance. He can just keep going and going forever and ever, and you can see he's trying to make that same strong start as what he has in every year so far.
So our competitors have turned the opening buoy, and now they're starting to head down towards Surfers Paradise. They won't be getting all the way there. This year, for the first time, competitors will be going out and back as we now see our females getting ready for their start. A smaller field, Gemma, but as we've spoken about, there's so much pace in there as well.
There sure is. There isn't necessarily as many starters as what there normally would be for the Coolangatta Gold, but the pace is going to be red hot. We've got a really high calibre field of racing, and I cannot wait to see what's going to pan out over this 42-kilometre course.
So Ali Bull second from the furthest side of the screen. Danielle McKenzie, who you can see on the blue CTC craft. We are expecting her to take out the pace. Gemma, that's what you and Danielle did back in 2019.
For sure, you can see they've just jumped on their skis there. Danielle's off to a cracking start. She's going to look short to make sure that she gets a really strong start, sets this pace out nice and early.
And you can already see that stroke rate ticking over. Danielle going as hard as she can to get to the front. She wants that clean water, and she wants to be able to turn that buoy in first place to be able to set her own rhythm. Ali Bull, closest to the screen on the orange surf craft. She looks so strong in her technique as well.
She sure does. You can see she's got such a strong stroke. Her stroke rate isn't as high as the other athletes. She'll have a really efficient technique, but she'll be able to pull as much water as anyone out there. So she'll be making sure that she gets in a nice, strong, comfortable rhythm to start this race.
It's a big decision for Courtney Hancock, who we can see on Danielle's outside in the pink ski, Lana Rogers and Georgia Miller. It's a big decision for them to have to make, isn't it, Gemma? Do they try and go with Danielle and Ali, who no doubt are going to try and break the field early?
Yeah, that's going to be a decision that they're going to have to make throughout this race. You can see here, this top 5, you assume they're going to try and bunch up and stay with each other for this ski race, but you're going to have the 2 leaders out in front on the orange and the blue ski. Danielle and Ali Bull, they're going to be setting the pace in this ski leg for sure.
Courtney Hancock in 2019, when you and Danielle did lead out the pace in the ski, she made a real effort to go with you. You get the feeling that she's going to want to set her race up from the start and not die wondering on the way home.
That's exactly right. I'm sure she'll be wanting to hang in there and get off the ski as close as she can to these typically more dominant ski paddlers of Danielle and Ali. You can see there she's tucked in on the inside on the wash. She'll be wanting to make sure that she stays there.
And that's a really important thing for our athletes to be doing throughout this ski leg today, is that the skis throw off a bit of a boat wake, like a speedboat out on the water, and if they can position their skis in the perfect spot, they actually get a little bit of a lift. They do it a little bit easier. Coaches say about 20% easier, Gemma, and in a race like the Coolangatta Gold, every little bit helps.
It sure does. If these athletes can conserve any energy out there today, they'll make sure they go into that next leg that little bit fresher than those athletes that have led from the front like Danielle is now. You can see Lana Rogers on the back there in between, just behind Danielle McKenzie there. She'll be making sure that she's got a nice wash to sort of hang in there and make sure she's doing the work a little bit easier than the others.
That is certainly no easy task, though. You can already see the ratings starting to climb up from our competitors at the back of the pack as Danielle McKenzie drives the pace at the start of the 2021 Coolangatta Gold. It's the home of Australia's most beautiful beaches, but there's more to the Gold Coast than the pristine sands of surfers' paradise, like its World Heritage listed rainforest, just a short drive away from where our competitors are currently battling it out. That is six-time champion Ali Day at the front of the field. He's looking as comfortable as you like, but he's dragging a big field with him. Everyone making an effort, Gemma, to stick right on his side.
Yes, you can see there Ali Day looking so comfortable out in front, but he isn't having it all his own way to start. He's got about 8 athletes hanging off him there. You can see they're sort of forming up in a V formation on each other's side wash, trying to hang on and sort of get a bit of a draft and assistance out there today.
Conserving all of their energy, Matt Bevilacqua, Simon Murfitt and Corey Taylor among those at the front of the men's field. Here is the women's field. Danielle McKenzie, the World Ocean Ski Champion, with Ali Bull, the 2-time Olympic kayaker. They are dragging out the women's field. Lana Rogers, Georgia Miller and Courtney Hancock chasing behind them.
Yes, you can see there in the women's field, Ali Bull is just sitting nice and comfortable there on Danielle McKenzie. She's only stroking about half as high as Danielle McKenzie there. She's conserving her energy with her really efficient kayaking stroke. But you can see holding on to the back of them is Lana Rogers, the 2019 champ, and Georgia Miller, the 2018 Coolangatta Gold champion, as well as Courtney Hancock hanging on there at the back.
So back to the front of the men's field, Ali Day looking like he is doing it comfortably at this stage out in front of the field. Matt Bevilacqua on his outside, he's a former champion who is going to be sticking to him as close as possible. The last time we saw Ali race the gold was in 2018 and he took a 5-minute lead off the ski. We know that's where he likes to extend his gap and set up his race. But the big question is he going to be able to do it today? Is he going to be able to break the field in these flat conditions?
I certainly think today's conditions are going to play into Ali Day's hands. He's renowned for being able to grind it out, but you can see Matt Bevilacqua there just stroking nice and easy on his wash. I think it'll be really interesting to see how the full race pans out because Matt Bevilacqua is such a strong ski paddler as well, so it'll make for a really exciting race.
So Gemma, it is a big decision for all of our competitors today, the male and female athletes. Is it those who aren't quite as strong on the ski as the ones who are setting the pace? How much energy do they use to try and keep up? Because it's a long day, particularly with weather like today. It's beautiful conditions on the Gold Coast, but it's going to get hot later. That's going to take a toll.
It sure is. You can see these athletes here. You want to be really thinking about how you're going to play out this race. You can see the strong ski paddlers in Ali Bull and Danielle McKenzie are out in front setting the pace, but the competitors there sitting on their backwash, Lana Rogers sitting in there nice and easy. I'm sure she'll be wanting to hang in there for this ski leg with her stronger legs of the swim, board and run to come. So it's a bit of a gamble. I'm sure these athletes would have had a race plan coming into this, knowing who they're going to be competing against.
It's incredible pictures of the Gold Coast as the field makes its way heading north, and they do tell the story, don't they? Ali Bull at the front of the field, a nice slow stroke rate, taking it easy, whereas towards the back, Georgia and Courtney, they're spinning their blades over, using more energy, just trying to keep up. Matt Bevilacqua now at the front of the men's field, Ali Day just taking a little bit of break from doing all the work and conserving that energy. The pack still sticking together, the pack of tenors, they continue to make their way heading to the north.
Yes, you could see Ali Day had taken the lead right from the jump on the beach. He was taking that lead out for the first few kilometres, but just took a bit of a sip from his bladder there to get some water or electrolytes in and sort of said to Matt Bevilacqua, it's time for you to lead. So he's jumped on his side wash there just to conserve a bit of energy.
So back to our female field at the moment, and it's still Ali Bull out in front, but The longer the race goes on, the more they're starting to string out, and it looks as though we're starting to see a gap open up at the moment. Ali Bull and Danielle McKenzie driving the pace. Lana Rogers is trying to stick with them, but Courtney Hancock and Georgia Miller have both fallen off the back. This is a big move at the moment.
You can see there, Danielle McKenzie is really putting the hammer down. She's lifted that stroke rate, trying to pull away from the other athletes there. She's doing a really good job of it, pulling away from Lana Rogers, and it looks like she's trying to pull away there from Ali Bull as well.
So this could be a potentially decisive move that we are seeing now. Danielle McKenzie putting the foot down. Will Lana Rogers expend the energy and try and stick with the two specialist ski paddlers? Because if she can, she's going to open up a gap over Georgia Miller and Courtney Hancock, the two accomplished paddlers. So it's no surprise that Ali Day, the 6-time Coolangatta Gold champion, has found his way back to the front of the field, and he's starting to turn the screws on his competitors as well. He's really stretching this pack out now and starting to put the foot in, Gemma. Everyone's sprinting to stay on his side. This could be a big move in the course of the race.
Yes, you can see there he's started to lift his stroke rate, get that ski up to a higher speed, which makes it harder for the other athletes to try and hold on. You can see there it's starting to string out a little bit, that the lungs will be burning as they're trying to hang on to that speed of Ali Day.
So Ali Bull and Danielle McKenzie setting the pace at the top of the women's field, but at this stage, the other competitors have gone with them. Lana Rogers and Courtney Hancock putting in the work to stick to the two specialist ski paddlers.
Yeah, you could see back there, Danielle McKenzie put in a real effort to try and break open that women's field, but it doesn't look like she was able to put too much ground on them. You can see Ali Bull's just taken back over the lead there, but Lana Rogers is just stuck to the backwash there like glue. She's hanging in there, making sure that these leaders don't get away from her in this opening ski leg.
And you can see Danielle just looking over her shoulder, checking where her competitors are, because that's one thing that she's very aware of, is that she wants a lead coming off the ski over the rest of her competitors. Although she's such an accomplished Ironwoman, finishing 5th on last year's Nutrigrain series, Danielle wants a gap heading into that swim leg because Lana Rogers will be hunting her down. So Ali Day starting to turn the screws on his competitors, and that is no surprise to see. This man loves this race more than any other. Ali Day back in the Coolangatta Gold in 2021.
I love the history obviously behind the race. I love the movie. I love the training that's involved. I love how much support you have to have on the day with handlers and things like that. I love the fact that anyone can go out and do the race. I love that it's long, that you're out there for 4 hours plus, that it's a marathon, and it's just so iconic, the Coolangatta Gold. It's easily my favourite event, so one of the main points, it's helped really change my life and change my career. It was the first major race I won. Secret for success for winning the gold would be just focusing on yourself and working really hard. Surrounding yourself with really good people, mentors, coaches. I've been so lucky that I've got someone like Zane Hamill at Surfers Paradise Surf Club. Got great coaches like at Bond Swimming and things like that as well. So at the end of the day, I've got a lot to thank them for. Each year is different, has been different. It's always thrown up some sort of challenge. 2019, I was injured. 2020, there was COVID, so I've missed it for almost 3 years. So of course I'm motivated, but I'm motivated every other year as well. I think it's probably just more excitement that I get the opportunity to go out and race again. Favourite part of the race would be the last run leg. I really like that feeling of throwing the shoes on, doing that 8K run and seeing friends and family along the way. It's going to be really special having my wife and my son there this year as well. I can't wait to see them on that last run leg for that little bit of extra motivation. What inspired me, I remember, I think it was obviously KNX. It was definitely KNX Stein that inspired me to do the race. My brother Blair and I would watch on VHS Reece Jury's win. It was actually on this beach at Curra where he won. It's going to take a lot to win the race this year. There's a lot of good guys doing it. Obviously, Matt Bevilacqua, he's the reigning champion. There's a lot of young guys in the field this year, so there's a lot of depth for the first time in a long time. I think it's going to take, the guy that's obviously worked the hardest in the off season, and obviously the other factor is just trying to go out there and just put it to the test, I guess.
It's great to hear from our 6-time Coolangatta Gold champion Ali Day back in the event after missing the 2019 edition and doing well, just as Danielle McKenzie and Ali Bull are at the front of the women's field, continuing to set that pace, Gemma.
They sure are. They look super comfortable out there in the front. Ali Bull's just leading it out at the moment. Danielle McKenzie sitting on her sidewash, conserving a little bit there, but hanging in the back there is Lana Rogers. She's looking comfortable at the back.
But the big question is, for how long will she be able to stay there? Because no doubt the pace is continuing to rise. We're now halfway through our opening ski leg in the 2021 Coolangatta Gold. Stay with us. We'll be back just after this. From food and wine, festivals, art, culture and music, to sporting and lifestyle, Queensland is home to a world-class calendar of events and destinations. Our athletes would love to be sitting there with that view right now because the pain is setting in and the race is opening up. That is a shot of our male leaders making their way past Currumbin, heading down towards the turn on the opening ski leg, and we saw that move from Ali Day a little bit earlier in the race. It has paid dividends. The field has now strung out, Gemma.
It sure has. You can see the front pack is certainly halved in size. Ali Day lifted his stroke rate and got his ski up and moving a lot quicker, which has broken some of those athletes that were hanging on to the back of the pack.
And Joe Collins is feeling the full effects of that at the moment. The breakout star of last summer's Nutrigrain Ironman series. He's lining up in his first ever Coolangatta Gold today, and he is feeling the full effects of that. It's a cat and mouse race, the Coolangatta Gold. So many tactical moves throughout. So that is what we're starting to see unfold in the men's. And that's what we're seeing from our female competitors as well as they start to make their way past Currumbin. It's Danielle McKenzie taking a lead, Ali Bull now having a rest, with Lana Rogers still behind, and further back you can see Courtney Hancock and Georgia Miller still holding on. So although we have seen a few moves from our specialist ski paddlers so far already in the race, they have yet to drop their rivals.
Yes, you can see there as Ali Bull just lifts her stroke rate and takes the lead from Danielle McKenzie. These two will be working together to make sure that they are sharing that load, but it looks like Ali Bull might be just trying to put a little bit of a spurt on to try and drop some of those competitors off their wash.
And it's going to be so important for them to work together as well to continue driving the pace, because you can see with Georgia and Courtney there, they're rating so much higher than Ali and Danielle. That means they're working harder in a long race like this. It's going to pay dividends towards the end.
For sure, the athletes that are able to conserve a little bit more energy in this ski leg by having a slower stroke rate, having more efficient stroke, will be conserving a lot more energy than the athletes that have that higher stroke rate. That means more energy expenditure, which in a long race like this is going to be tricky come the end of the race.
So as strong as Danielle and Ali look at the front of the field, they have not got rid of Lana Rogers yet, the defending Coolangatta Gold champion and the Nutrigrain Series champion from last season. Is right on their heels. Let's get to know a little bit more about Lana Rogers.
My favourite memory from the Coolangatta Gold was the sprint finish that I was able to have. I had a stranger yell out to me at a certain time in the race, and it kind of just got the adrenaline pumping again, and I think that was so cool to experience.
With determination and heart, the greatest finish we've ever seen. It's Lana Rogers!
It's time to do it again, and I've got to be mentally tougher again. I think the next step for me is how tough I can be mentally. It is a long race. I try to take it step by step. I'm trusting the process, and I think that's the main thing right now. And again, having that extra 4 weeks on our training tested you mentally as well. Yeah, originally I do a 20-week block, and that's about over 100 kilometres per week. That includes gym, swimming in the pool, board paddling, running, ski paddling, and we had a hiccup. It now extended and it got postponed, which took us another month of training, and it was an odd 400, 500 Ks extra that we had to do. And I've done a lot of Ks by myself. Unfortunately, I live on the Sunshine Coast, so there's not a lot of people doing the long course. Courtney's won it 3 times. She's definitely one to watch out for. She knows the course, she knows the beaches, she lives down there. Even though it is a different course, she knows the water a lot better than I do. She's got more experience than I do. And I know she can grind it out. She's proved that over the years. She has such an amazing career, and I think, she's going to be one to look out for, definitely. It's 4.5 hours of a total grind. It's 42 kilometres. It's the most grueling race surf lifesaving has to offer, and that's what's addictive. that's why you want to do the race.
So that's our defending champion, Lana Rogers. Great to hear from her there. And could she be on track for another title? Well, this move may help that happen. Danielle McKenzie and Ali Bull have turned up the pace, and although Lana Rogers is still on their tails, Georgia Miller and Courtney Hancock have now fallen off the back of the field. You can see how close they were just a few moments ago. Look at that gap now. That is a huge advantage that has just been opened up, Gemma.
That is a massive move to have Courtney Hancock, a 3-time Coolangatta Gold champion, and Georgia Miller, 2018 champion, drop off the back of that front pack there. Their game plan coming into this would have been to try and hold on to those strong ski paddlers for as long as they can, but as you can see, they've just fallen off and that gap is extending.
Coming into the halfway mark of this opening ski leg, and the pace is starting to climb as they go into this turn, Gemma.
Yes, you can see here they're going to turn around this big red buoy and head back the direction that they've come. So it's going to be interesting to see. You can see the athletes have turned that left foot down to try and get around that buoy as quick as they can.
And you can see a number of athletes on the inside. Corey Taylor now, closest to screen there on the left, and Matt Bevilacqua, both winding up the pace because they know they've got the experience that a turn like that can really disrupt the field, and that's what looks like has happened. Matt Bevilacqua, Corey Taylor, and there is our man Ali Day, the 6-time Coolangatta Gold champion, looking over his shoulder to see, yes, they have dropped a couple of more competitors from the pack. And here's our female leaders coming into the turning buoy. Danielle McKenzie leading from Ali Bull, and Lana Rogers, the defending champion, right there on their tails.
Yes, you can see this pack of 3 out in front has extended that lead. There's no one else in frame anymore. They've got a considerable lead over the rest of the field as they come up to this halfway point of the ski leg.
So a 23-kilometre ski course, 11.5 Ks in now. You can see the wind starting to pick up. It looks like a little bit from the offshore direction, blowing from the west, making it that bit more difficult for the ski paddlers as they come into that turn. What's going through their minds at the moment, Gemma? We've never seen a Coolangatta Gold which is an out-and-back course like this.
Yes, it's certainly a very different course to what these athletes would have done in the past. You can see here they're turning around that red buoy, the halfway point. So they've come all the way up the north. They're going to turn around and come back the way that they've come, which is different to what the course is normally. Normally you continue tracking all the way north up the coast to Broadbeach, and when you turn that buoy, you've only got a few kilometres to go. So these athletes mentally now know that they're only halfway through this course, and they'll be making sure that they build in to the last half of this ski leg.
Well, this is the view from Courtney Beach as our competitors make their way back towards Coolangatta. There is not much assistance in the ocean. You can see that how flat it is today, and that's why this pack that's formed at the front of the field is so important. It continues to open up its lead over the rest of the field in the 2021 Coolangatta Gold.
Yes, you can see there the opening lead pack of the males are heading back towards Coolangatta Beach. They're about to turn past Courtney Beach there. We've got Matt Bevilacqua leading out in front at the moment.
That is our front 3 competitors in the female division. Danielle McKenzie, Ali Bull, and right there at the back, Lana Rogers still hanging on as they make their way past Courtney. Gemma, we've spoken about how strong Danielle is on the ski, a world ocean ski champion, Ali, a 2-time Olympian. But how incredible is the performance that we're seeing Lana Rogers put in? We know how accomplished she is. She's the series champion. She's the defending Coolangatta Gold champion. But to go with these 2 specialist ski paddlers, it's potentially setting up her entire race.
It is very impressive that she's managed to hang on to this high calibre of female paddling. Ali Bull and Danielle McKenzie, you can see out here, they've been doing all the work, leading from the front, but Lana Rogers has stuck like super glue to their back of their skis, and she is hanging on in this ski leg and doing a very impressive job.
Well, it's well and truly on now. It looks like there is a little bit of a boat wash. The competitors are starting to surf as they come into that turn, but you can see just by the way they are turning over those paddles now, the pace has gone up, and it's Ali Day that's driving it. So Tom May, Matt Bevilacqua, and Corey Taylor out wide now are all still trying to match the pace being set by Ali. every metre off the ski, Gemma, it makes such a difference in the run, doesn't it?
It does for sure. If you can get that little bit of a gap heading into that run leg and start to break that elastic band, once the gap gets a little bit bigger, it makes that just that little bit harder to claw them back. And someone of Ali Day's calibre, I don't think anyone's going to be able to peg him back if he gets a bit of a lead.
So we can see them starting to come into the break now, and Ali Day has opened up a bit of a gap over the field, a few ski lengths back to the two red skis of Matt Bevilacqua and Corey Taylor. And Tom May looks like he's now making a move. He wants to hit that sand first and begin that 1 kilometre run.
Yes, you can see there, they've got about 50 metres till they hit the beach. So at this stage, it'll be interesting to see when the athletes jump off. They haven't used their legs for about just under 2 hours, so there might be a few wobbly legs as they jump off, but you can see Ali Day straight up the beach, looking very strong.
Ali Day is going around that first marker, closely followed by Tom May from South Australia. Let's go down to Josh Minogue on the sand.
The boys have made their way through transition there. For the first time ever, Ali Day has other people around him off the ski leg. It's incredible. There are 5 men in the field. Ali Day, Tom May, Corey Taylor there, Taddy McDonald, and there looks like Matt Bevilacqua there on the mix as well. Ali Day went through that transition like he was shot out of a gun. He knew the little gaps are very, very important, and then there's a huge gap back to the rest of the field there. The winner of this race will come out of those 5 men. I can almost guarantee it. They look very strong on the front. Ali Day looked very determined, but he couldn't break it away. So it'll be interesting to see how these boys handle the transition from run and heading into swim. You know Ali Day's the strongest swimmer. Can any of those boys hold on?
So step number 1 has been completed for our competitors trying to topple Ali Day, but it's about to get a whole lot tougher. The swim leg will begin in just a moment. There's no place like Queensland when it comes to combining Australia's headline events with the most incredible destinations and even some of our most well-known wildlife as well. The Gold Coast has it all. Back to the front of the men's field in the 2021 Coolangatta Gold now. Matt Bevilacqua was still driving the pace. He knows this short run is going to be crucial. Now, Gemma, this lead doesn't look like much back to 4th and even 5th place, but why is it so important to stay so close heading into a swim leg?
The swim is the slowest leg out of all of the legs, so it's really important to try and make sure you're conserving as much energy as you can. As we've said before, it's a very long race, the Coolangatta Gold. So to try and conserve as much energy as you can by drafting off some of the other athletes, especially in the swim leg, will be really important.
You can see some of the handlers running alongside their competitors. Now is the perfect time to be fueling up with hydration, with energy gels. It's a long day out in Coolangatta for the gold, so it's so important to get all of the nutrition and hydration right, especially heading into the swim. There's not as much opportunity to do that like we did see in the ski. Josh Minogue back down on the beach. What are you seeing as they make their way back into the final run?
Yeah, it started to come back together. Bevilacqua's run past Ali Day. He knows he's got to open up a little bit of a gap. Then it goes back to Corey Taylor, Taddy McDonald there, and Tom May seems to have dropped off by a long way. So a group of 5 is now a group of 4 in just that short 1 kilometre transition. Tom May looks like he's hurting a lot, but Bevilacqua's looked the best on the run. Ali Day looking very comfortable as he shakes the arms out. Corey Taylor knows he has to stay with these 2 boys, and for Taddy McDonald, it's now or never for him. They get the cheers from the crowd as they go through, and this is make or break for the boys. The race will be won in the swim and board legs, there's no doubt about it, and it's the 2 defending champions. Ali Day he's got 6 titles, and Matt Bevilacqua from 2019, stroke for stroke here on the beach. It's fantastic.
The ski leg is done. The opening run transition is finished. Our lead competitors in the Coolangatta Gold are now making their way into the swim. And the game plan, well, it's pretty obvious from the outset. Try and stick with Ali Day, which, Gemma, as we've seen over the years, is far easier said than done.
Absolutely. You can see Ali Day is headed straight to the front in this swim leg. Matt Bevilacqua was sitting directly in behind him. He will be trying to hold on to Ali Day in this swim for as long as he can.
Just like we saw in the male field, our female have started to make a move as they make their way back into the sand off the ski. see Danielle McKenzie and Ali Bull opening a slight gap over Lana Rogers, but the big question is, will it be enough on this run to take a lead into the swim leg? Let's head down to the sand of Coolangatta with Jenny Parry.
Thank you so much, Sam, and your expert commentators today. It is getting exciting down here on Coolangatta Beach. The question was, how much can Ali Bull and Danny McKenzie blow up the ski leg of the Coolangatta Gold? And I have to tell you, they look fit, they look strong, but lurking, here she comes, defending champion Lana Rogers. She is in the chase. This is where it gets very exciting. You've got to think Danny McKenzie, she's been on the podium before. She knows how to do very well in the Coolangatta Gold. Ali Bull, our Olympian in the field, may start to drop off from here, but I tell you, Lana looks dangerous right now.
Thank you, Jenny. We are starting to see the pace climb up on the run now. Competitors getting a splash of water, a drink, and a little bite to eat from their handlers. But surprisingly, it's Ali Bull who's putting the foot down. She's not going to die wondering in the Coolangatta Gold. She's signalling her intent by putting the foot down in this run. But looming large already is Lana Rogers. She's cut down that gap, and now she's coming into the lead.
Yes, you can see here, Danielle McKenzie and Lana Rogers at the start of that run transition leg slowed up a little bit to take on some of the electrolytes and gels from their handlers, so that might have slowed them back a little bit, but you can see Lana's just about to overtake Ali Bull here as she starts to hit her stride.
And here comes the chasing pack. Courtney Hancock and Georgia Miller in 4th and 5th place. They've done really well to keep that gap to the distance as it is after that ski leg, and you can see they're already starting to get those legs moving and beginning to try and reel them in. Lana Rogers now making her way into the front of the field. Doesn't she just look so strong? We know how accomplished she is as a runner, producing the fastest split times in the 2019 Coolangatta Gold. Gemma, I hate to bring it up, but you know that as well as anyone. You two had a really dramatic sprint finish in that race where Lana just got the nod.
Yes, back in 2019, it came down to a matter of seconds between Lana Rogers and myself for that in that final run leg, but you can see here Lana looking super comfortable in that run. She looks like she's hitting her stride, conserving as much energy as she can. She just looks so comfortable right now.
It's really impressive to see Ali Bull and Danielle McKenzie both going with Lana as well. And that is the challenge that we are seeing unfold at the front of the men's field as well. You are currently seeing Matt Bevilacqua, Corey Taylor and Taddy McDonald. That is 2nd, 3rd and 4th because they have already lost the feed of Ali Day. We have only just started this swim leg, but you can see now as the drone camera starts to pull out that gap is already out to 30 seconds at the start of this swim, and it's early days, but that might just prove to be a decisive gap for the 6-time Coolangatta Gold champion. Let's check back in with our women's race now because there is a really interesting situation starting to unfold as they approach the start of the swim leg. They've opened a slight gap over Danielle McKenzie in 3rd place. It is decision time for Danielle. It might be now or never for her hopes of winning the 2021 Coolangatta Gold. She's going to need to be on the feet of Lana Rogers heading into that swim. Otherwise, she may not be able to close back up.
Yes, if I was Danielle McKenzie right now, I would be making sure I put on a big spurt to try and catch back up to Lana Rogers and Ali Bull. To head into that swim leg, you want to be as close as you can so that elastic band doesn't snap and you'll lose contact with those lead group. You can see there, Lana Rogers has just decided to put her swim cap on. You can see Danielle McKenzie slowing up as well.
A quick stop for both competitors, but you can see just how quickly Lana has cut that gap down now. She's flying, Jenny Parry. She finishes off the run leg, heading into the swim.
Absolutely. She's known for her fast transitions in the sprint racing, and I have to tell you, she looks absolutely fantastic across the stand in the endurance as well. The Coolangatta Gold, this is where she's starting to make her move. She looks so comfortable across the sand, and you can see some of the competitors starting to drop off now, but Lana is smooth. She is focused. She knows she is one of the strongest swimmers in the field, so if there's a chance for her to make a break, make a move, she is going to take every advantage right now. Ali Bull, our Olympian, she's heading into the water now, and I have to tell you as well that her handler here, her board paddler who's keeping her safe, is her K2 Olympic partner, Elise Bennett.
They were side by side heading into that last turn of the run transition, but in the space of 30 seconds, Lana Rogers has opened up a huge gap over her rivals in the Coolangatta Gold, and that may be enough to seal a second victory. Here's the chasing pack. That's Courtney Hancock in 4th place. She's halfway through this opening run transition with Georgia Miller in 5th. It's a huge gap for them to try and cut down, particularly given Lana's strength in the swim, Gemma.
Yes, Lana Rogers is definitely a strong swimmer, but these two chasing here in 4th and 5th in Courtney Hancock and Georgia Miller are one of the strongest swimmers in the field.
So the moves are being made in this swim leg of the Coolangatta Gold. Our athletes are approaching the halfway mark in the 2021 edition. We'll be back just after this break with Australian Ironman champion Kendrick Louis as we bid farewell to Gemma Smith. Gemma, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
The Gold Coast is a place of powerful contrast and boundless energy. From its iconic surf beaches to its thrill-packed theme parks to its hinterland vineyards, this is a city that defies expectations, which is fitting because this is a man that is doing the same in pursuit of a record 7th Coolangatta Gold crown. Ali Day is putting on a clinic. And now joining me for a front row seat to take it all in is former Australian Ironman champion Kendrick Louis.
Thanks for having me, Sam. Just looking at the screen now, looking at Ali Day, looking extremely comfortable, cleared out probably by about 100 metres.
Let's go back to the front of the women's field now, and there's been a major move in the context of this race. Danielle McKenzie has put the foot down, and it looks as though, Kendrick, she's on the feet of Lana Rogers.
Yep, she definitely is. This is where, it's kind of surprised us, definitely, anyway. We would have thought Lana would have bridged the gap here and cleared out and gone on with it. Danny's done really well to hang in there. So if she can just tuck in, sit with her on the board. Look, I don't know how well she runs, but I'm pretty sure she's half decent. So this race is still up for it.
Yeah, this is a major twist in the context of this year's Coolangatta Gold. Danielle McKenzie was spoken extensively about how good she is as a ski paddler, but also as a long-distance athlete. To be winning World Ocean Ski Championships like she has done, beating the best ski paddlers in the world over that 2-hour distance, it goes to show just how big her engine is and just how long she's able to compete at this kind of intensity for, because what we are seeing now is a huge shock.
Yeah, not to mention her engine, mate. She has got a huge ticker. Her heart is massive, and she loves a fight. She loves to hang in there and just grit her teeth and get the job done. We've seen it, in Coolangatta Golds, in Molokai's, in the Iron Series, and Aussie titles. Danny's one of those girls. She puts a foot on the line and wants to win.
But at the front of the men's field is all smooth sailing for Ali Day. His gap continues to get bigger and bigger, and look at that kickstart to come up, Kenj, as he comes around that turning buoy as well, into the beach to finish the swim leg.
I think by the time he hits the sand, grabs his board, there'll be the best part of 3.5 minutes on the next competitor. So I'll take my hat off to Ali. That's an unbelievable swim. He's broken the field well apart. Mate, to be honest, I don't want to jinx him, but I can't see anyone bridging this gap now.
If you weren't going to say it, I was about to. You would think that this is a Coolangatta Gold winning swim leg from Ali Day, one of his best, and that is saying something when you consider just how dominant he's been over the swim leg throughout his 6 Coolangatta Gold victories. Even now, Kendrick, he's still spinning those arms over at a pretty impressive rate. The kick looks to be a 6-beat kick, nice and consistent with that as he comes back into the beach. He looks seemingly unstoppable.
Absolutely unstoppable right there. Ali trains really hard. He works his butt off, and he's looking comfortable, and this is his time to shine.
So Ali Day has now hit the sand, finishing the swim leg, and he has opened up a huge lead as he chases a 7th Coolangatta Gold crown. Josh, that is as impressive as we've ever seen from Ali.
Oh, you've both hit it spot on. This could be the pivotal moment in this race. A gap that was maybe 5 seconds heading into the swim is close to 2.5 minutes now. You can see he looks determined, he looks confident, and he looks relaxed there as he goes in onto the board. The handler's screaming at him there. He got plenty of nutrition in on the transition up and around, and he's gone around that in maybe 15 seconds there. That is as fast as I've seen a transition all day. He's now 2.5 hours into this race, and he looks as fresh as he did in the first 5 minutes, and he'll take a little bit of confidence on the way out on the board. He'll be going past the swimmers on the way in, knowing that gap just continues to open up. Kenj hit the nail on the head earlier in commentary there. I don't know if anyone can get him at this point. There's some great board paddlers in that group. Matt Bevilacqua, the 5-time world champion, but I don't know if they can bring back Ali Day from this point. He looks phenomenal. phenomenal.
Josh, you spoke about how determined Ali looks. The scary thought for his competitors, it looks like he's having fun doing it as well. We saw a few times throughout the swim, he looked up to his handler, had a little comment, had a little laugh. He is loving being back in this race.
That's exactly right. He's had 3 years since he's been able to race, broke both wrists in 2019 and, of course, COVID in 2020. So he's just happy to be here. A lot of big changes in his life as well. He's now got a young son, Danny, and he really enjoys getting out here and racing in front of his family. So he looks happy, he looks content, and he looks confident there, and that's a bad sign for the rest of the field. The boys in second, third and fourth are making their way back to the beach, and it's still Bevilacqua, Taddy McDonald and Corey Taylor, it looks like, as they work their way in, and this is going to be a real battle royale for second and third, and one of these three is going to miss out on the podium, but there's still plenty of racing to go. An hour and a half, an hour and 20 minutes, depending on how quick they are, and a lot can change in that length of time.
So they are up and running on the sand now. Taddy McDonald is in second place. He's leading the pack ahead of Matt Bevilacqua, and then Corey Taylor in fourth at the moment. Josh, it's a long race, but we're seeing this now that anything can happen.
Yeah, that's exactly right. This race is far from over. People can fall apart, that is for sure, especially on that last run leg. It's going to be hot and it's going to be very difficult for these guys. We see Taddy McDonald come around. He will be feeling very good about that swim. He expected to lose time there, but he hasn't. Bevilacqua gets the water poured on his head. He'll go into it, and then Corey Taylor gets the liquids in, and the rest of the boys are a long way down. So this is the race for second place at the moment. Taddy McDonald's the big surprise. I did not expect him to hold on in that swim. I expected Bevilacqua and Corey Taylor to go away, but he's been doing the work at Burleigh under coach Michael King, and he is looking red hot heading into this third of four legs.
Taddy McDonald looking outstanding, but he certainly has his work cut out for him now, because hot on his heels are two of the best board paddlers in the world. Ali Day is clear at the moment, but the race for second place is certainly heating up here at the 2021 Coolangatta Gold. Well, the heart rates of our Iron men and women are starting to climb, but it's nothing on a trip to one of the Gold Coast's premier theme parks. Whether it's young or old, there is something for everyone to get those smiles showing and the adrenaline pumping. Back to the Coolangatta Gold, and it's Taddy McDonald who's currently in second place, leading Matt Bevilacqua and Corey Taylor in what is shaping up to be a really tight battle, Kenj.
You can just see, Bevy, he'll take a few strokes, he'll sit back, stretch it out. He's staying really calm. I think he knows that he's probably going to have to make his move towards the back end of this first lap down, and then really go for it coming back. Right now, Taddy's doing all the work. Bevy's known, he's got the world record for Molokai crossing. Mate, the guy knows how to paddle a board a long way, and he knows how to do it fast.
Well, let's find out a little bit more about Matt Bevilacqua, our 2019 Coolangatta Gold champion.
Yeah, really fond memories from 2019. Such an awesome day, and just a goal that I've had since I was a kid, since I was really, really young. I remember sitting on the couch watching the movie Coolangatta Gold and just blown away by how cool the sport was, and I didn't think I'd even do the sport at that point, but to go ahead and win one, something I won't quite understand until I finish and retire, I reckon. So the first moment I knew I actually had won was probably 5 minutes before the line when I put my hands up. You watch the footage back and, I kind of broke him a fair bit before that. I just can't explain how much pain you're in at those points, especially in the final run leg. It's a pain you can't train for, and, I'm training 3 times a day. I'm covering, up to 200 Ks a week. It's on the water and swimming and everything. It's actually really incredibly easy to keep focused during that race. There's just a million things going through my head at every second. Like, am I drinking right? Is my stroke correct? Am I being efficient? Am I breathing ready? Am I ready for the next leg? Am I ready for that transition? What's happening in that transition? So there's never a moment when you can just sit back and forget about the pain and forget about what you're doing. It's hard, but I kind of enjoy it too. I'm improving, I'm getting fitter and fitter. I'm the fittest I've ever been. So it's a great feeling to come to the end of that preparation and know that you've done everything you can with the best guys, with the best club, and it's been sick. So I just can't wait to see what happens on race day now. Obviously, with Ali back, this event's a different beast. So
to beat him is, you know, the pinnacle of our sport. Basically, he's easily the best we've ever done the Coolangatta Gold, and you know, it's the ultimate test, and it's why I do sport. It's why anyone does sport, is to really test yourself and see if you've got what it takes. Something that's been on my mind for a while, so it's been motivating me, and can't wait to just give it a go, you know, just put my best out there and see where it gets me, and might just be one of a number, and I might be the one to meet him.
There is your leader, Ali Day, with a huge lead over his competitors. You can see how well he seems to be milking that little wind out of the southeast, sitting up for a rest as the wash comes through. He is flying, Kendrick.
He is. That looks like a really awkward direction they're paddling in, especially with the wind coming over their right shoulder. You don't really get the maximum assistance from that chop, so you're kind of paddling against it. You might get a little lift here and there, but Ali's just going for it. You could kind of see in the background before, the boys are a long way behind. He's looking comfy. He's pretty much looking like he has the last 6 times he's won the race at this point.
Well, they're not far now from getting back to the beach. Danielle McKenzie and Lana Rogers at the front of the women's field in the 2021 Coolangatta Gold. We could hear Kendrick over the microphones just how much encouragement Danielle's being given from her paddler there, Hannah Scully, an incredible Ironwoman in her own right, a teammate at BMD Northcliffe. Go on, keep going, you're almost there. She knows just how important this swim has been for Danielle's chances of winning.
Yeah, they've got an unbelievable training squad up there at Northcliffe. The girls section is just so strong, and they just push each other each day, and encouragement. They're best of friends, they're handlers, they're training partners. It's just so great to see.
Well, it is about to be a big moment in the Coolangatta Gold to see just how fast these two competitors stand up on the beach. Jenny, we did not expect to see such a close battle after that swim.
Absolutely, Sam. This is the shock of the race so far. Danielle McKenzie swims herself into first position going into this transition. We did not think that she was going to be here. She's up there with Lana Rogers, who is known as one of the absolute best in the business when it comes to that swim leg. But this is where it's going to get very, very interesting. The girls are about to come through behind us and hit that board leg. Now, both of these ladies are very accomplished board paddlers, but Danielle McKenzie, she has got to be full of confidence right now. You can see the girls just starting to come through, but Lana, as always, so strong through that transition. They're neck and neck at the moment as they take on a little bit of hydration, trying to cool down a little bit. Grab these board cleaner. You can hear you can hear the handlers are screaming. This is not what the crowd was expecting to see, but they are absolutely loving it. Who would have thought that at this stage in the Coolangatta Gold we would have two of the absolute best board paddlers in the world, and let's face it, two of our best runners as well, neck and neck. You can see they are side by side as they head out as well. No one is saying, I'll give you the lead, I'll take some wash. It is on at this stage of the Coolangatta Gold.
This is a big moment in the context of the race, because as we've seen with this wind that has whipped up, it's going to be a lot harder now to sit wash going down towards that turn. So the runs are really going to come into play, Kendrick, as they milk those every little lift that they can. And here's those that are chasing behind. We have Courtney Hancock standing up, and right there alongside her,
that's Georgia Miller. That's a huge move from Courtney and Georgia.
So Jenny, that's a massive swim from the two of those. They look as though they have closed down that gap. Courtney Hancock and Georgia Miller.
Absolutely, Sam. We were not expecting to see this either. This is a really, really interesting turn of events. But again, two of the strongest women in the field. And let's face it, some ladies who have some pretty amazing Coolangatta Gold pedigrees as well as they come through. Neck and neck, they've taken distance off the field. This is absolutely amazing. You can hear the crowd as they come through as well. Courtney, Georgia, going into that board leg now. The question is, will they work together? How are they going to turn these tactics into potentially a podium spot at the Coolangatta Gold? It is on at this level of Coolangatta Gold. Sam, I can only imagine how great the footage looks and where you're sitting.
It has been fantastic, and it has been thrilling to say the least. We thought the race might have been over after that first ski leg that saw Danielle McKenzie, Ali Bull and Lana Rogers open up a huge lead over Courtney Hancock and Georgia Miller. But Kendrick, they're not out of it. We're seeing there our two female board leaders at the moment. It's still a big gap, but it's not impossible to close down.
We definitely cannot write them off. If Courtney and Georgia really work together here like they did in that swim leg, they closed that gap by minutes then, and I think they can do the same on this board leg. Courtney's rating has been through the roof, so if they get around here and just really see where the girls are and just work together to them, this race is on.
We speak about the importance of staying calm and staying relaxed throughout a race like the Coolangatta Gold. Well, Courtney and Georgia have both exemplified that. When they did get dropped on the ski, they didn't try and use all their energy to catch up. They remained relaxed and they worked together, and now they are back in this. Not that these two would be aware of that at the moment. That is Danielle McKenzie leading Lana Rogers at the very front of the pack. Not only are they racing each other, but now Courtney Hancock and Georgia Miller are starting to come back into this race as well. The 2021 Coolangatta Gold is heading for a thrilling conclusion. The board leg before the final run leg is coming up in just a moment. It's not all about adrenaline and action on the beautiful Gold Coast. The vineyards in the hinterland are the perfect place to slow things down and take a bit of a break, enjoying some of the most beautiful tastes that our nation has to offer. That is a world away for Danielle McKenzie and Lana Rogers at the moment, locked in battle at the front of the field.
They're going stroke for stroke here.
Yeah, the two sitting alongside each other, Kendrick, Danielle McKenzie and Lana Rogers. You do think that Danielle would be starting to think that over in her mind. At what point do I go? And actually, it looks as though she's put the head down a little bit there now, and the stroke rate is starting to lift at the moment. Lana dropping to the back of Danielle's board. This could be the moment that Danielle has been waiting for.
Yeah, this is a real, I guess, a bit of a worry for Lana. When you're going downwind, you don't want to be on the tail of someone. It'll only take one runner, two runners, and they've gone. So, look, Lana, if I was her, I'd be pegging back up to her outside or on her side wash, or trying to start surfing your own runners. As soon as she goes right now in this position, she's just going to open up a lead, so she's going to have to hang in tight.
So at this stage, Lana is sticking to the tail of Danielle McKenzie, but as you mentioned there, Kendrick, every time Lana gets the lift, she has to stop herself from moving forward and hitting the back of Danielle's board. So you're right that she may be looking to pull wide as Danielle puts the head down, and now the stroke rate's being lifted, and in the space of a few seconds, she's opened up a 2 board length lead. This could be the chance that Danielle has been chasing. Well, you can see the crowd starting to line up on the Kira groin there, and for good reason. What they are seeing today is history in the making. Ali Day continues to extend his lead over the rest of the field and power towards a 7th Coolangatta Gold title. Kendrick, we have seen some incredible athletes win this race over the years, but we have never seen an athlete like Ali.
I just don't think we've seen anyone win it as convincingly as Ali, as consistent as Ali, and probably as easy as Ali. Look at it. Look at the rating. You know, after that long of a race and the amount of strokes his shoulders have done, he is absolutely moving really quick here. He's going to come into the beach, light it up the sand, into his run leg, probably get a little bit of nutrition in, and probably wave to the boys as he runs around the boardwalk.
Well, that's the unique thing about the format of the course this year. The out and back design of the course is that when he does stand up on the sand and starts making his way to the north along the beach, he's going to get a very good look at where his competitors are as they make their way back on the board, and I think he's going to love it as well.
Yeah, you can see that in his drink there. It looks like he's got a bit of flat Coke. You know, a lot of athletes tend to use that this time of the race. You know, so they get their Coca-Cola, let it go flat. Made a really good sugar hit, especially after a 6.5 kilometre board paddle ahead of an 8K run. So, like, look at him, he's flying. The guy next to him can't even keep up with him.
Ali straight into his rhythm as he goes along the sand. Josh Minogue's down on the beach at Coolangatta, and Josh, that is an unbelievable display from Ali as he makes his way past you now.
Spot on. He's just about to come charging past. He looks comfortable. He looks determined. This sand is so soft, so hot. It'd be over 30 degrees in this chute, and he has gone up that chute like it was nothing at all. He's conquered the surf. It's onto the sand. This is Ali Day's race to lose, and I can't see anybody getting him from here. You guys were spot on there. He's been so dominant, and he's done it with an ease that I haven't seen in my entire time watching this race. He is just a class above, and these guys are the best in the world.
No doubt it makes for nervous viewing for the Iron men and women around the country, because the Nutrigrain Iron Man and Iron Woman series will be back on January 14th. You can catch all the action live on the Nine Network, where Ali Day will be looking to defend his crown. He's won the Australian title, he won last year's title, and he looks like he's on track to win another Coolangatta Gold at the moment. but look at this shot of Ali Day. The shoes are on, and he is looking unstoppable as he makes his way down Kira Beach.
Yeah, he's looking effortless here. He's probably even had time to stop and make sure his shoes match with his rash vest. But he's looking comfy. It's a beautiful day on the Gold Coast, as you can see in the background. And look, to me, this is Ali's victory lap.
So to put it in perspective, Kendrick, this is the battle for second place. Matt Bevilacqua, Corey Taylor and Taddy McDonald. Ali is already kilometres into the run leg. This is an enormous gap over the field.
Yeah, for the win, the win's sewed up. Ali's going to win this, hands down. He'll be turning a halfway marker, I think, when these guys are probably on the run leg. You can see here his sonnies are on, his wife Kel, giving him some more flat coke. He's got the music in. And look at him, I wonder what he's listening to.
I was just about to ask you the same thing, Kendrick. You know Ali quite well. What do you think's going through the headphones at the moment?
Oh, mate, don't know, a bit of Smooth FM probably.
He does look like he is staying nice and relaxed at this point, really settling into that rhythm at the moment. And it is hard to explain just how big Ali's lead is at the moment, but this is one of the most dominant performances we have seen in Coolangatta Gold history, and this could well be Ali Day's best as he powers toward a 7th title. The win might be sewn up in the male race for the Coolangatta Gold title, but it is a battle in 3 for second place. Matt Bevilacqua, Corey Taylor and Taddy McDonald off their boards and into the final run. Let's go down to Josh Minogue on the sand, and Josh, this is going to be a grueling battle.
While Ali Day is gone, these three are in for the fight of their lives to stand on the podium. 3 into 2 does not go. Bevilacqua, Corey Taylor and McDonald there. 3 very, very strong runners. The last time Matt Bevilacqua did this race, he was in a sprint finish with Matt Poole. Taddy McDonald is a strong, strong runner, big lad, and Corey Taylor is an absolute whippet. They've all got their strengths, and none of them want to end up in a sprint finish, that is for sure. But you can see the speed difference between them and Ali Day. It's that little bit slower. They're under pressure here. Bevilacqua on the front, Corey Taylor Taddy McDonald in second, and Corey Taylor's just gone off the back trying to put the watch on, but he'll run back onto that group. That's the race for second, and they are in for a hell of an 8K. It is hot, it is soft, and it's going to be very, very tough for these boys, but they're up for the fight.
Josh, just how hot is it? We can see water being poured over the backs of our athletes as they start to get the shoes on, ready for the hard sand there.
That's spot on. It's not only hot, but they've just come out of the salt water. That water begins to dry. The salt starts to go. It's up around their underarms. It's around their mouth and their face, and it's so uncomfortable. So the cold water over the top of them, it cools them down. It gets the salt off them. It's just that little bit more comfortable. And they've got 30 minutes now. They know they'll have to settle in, and they'll feel the heat on the back end, that's for sure. It'll creep up on the boys. They've come out of the water now. The core body temperature's nice and low, but as it starts to lift and the heart rate starts to go up, they'll know they're going to begin redlining somewhere towards the end, and you want to put that off for as long as possible. So they'll have handlers out on the course handing them drinks, making sure they've got enough energy to get towards the end, and then it's all guts down this final chute and the soft sand run to the finish.
They're showing plenty of pace out chasing pack at the moment. Taddy McDonald, Matt Bevilacqua and Corey Taylor, but there looks to be no catching Ali Day. He looks so comfortable out in front as he powers towards a 7th Coolangatta Gold title. Looks as though there has been a twist in the women's race. That's Georgia Miller currently in 3rd place, looking as though she's being overtaken by Courtney Hancock, even giving her a smile, a few words of encouragement as well. So Georgia making room for Courtney Hancock to come through as she chases down what would be a 4th Coolangatta Gold title. This one is going down to the wire. We will see the thrilling conclusion just after this. There's no place like Queensland when it comes to combining Australia's headline events with the most incredible destinations and a little bit of R&R as well. There's so many beautiful cafes and little boutique shops to explore throughout the region as well on your next trip to Queensland. Back to the front of the women's field now, and there has been a major move in the Coolangatta Gold. Danielle McKenzie has dropped Lana Rogers and is now out in front on her own. She's looked so impressive on that board, and now she's onto the sand. 8 kilometres to go to see if she can hold on. Lana Rogers is still giving chase, and we know that Courtney Hancock and Georgia Miller were working to bridge that gap as well. So this race is far from over, Jenny.
Absolutely. Danielle McKenzie is approaching us now. She's going into this final run shoot. The crowd has started to gather down here on the barricades in anticipation of the finish. This is not what we were expecting to see. Danielle McKenzie looks absolutely fantastic. She looks calm. She looks collected. She knows what it takes to get on the podium for the Coolangatta Gold, and she is now lining up a win. Of course, we're all looking over our shoulders now to find out where is Lana Rogers, how far back is she, and most importantly, can she make the distance to claim the Coolangatta Gold? Sam, we are in for a wild finish.
Jenny, you can see the pain on Danielle's face, but she cracked a smile there as well. She's loving this journey towards her first title. Looking over your shoulder, Jenny, do we have sight of Lana as she makes her way back in?
Yeah, we can see the board coming through. We're in a little bit of a tricky position. All the chatter is Lana and Danny. Can she get there? We know the run course has had some demons for Lana in the past, and with Danny just taking off in front of us right now, it is anybody's race. But I've got to tell you, Danny looks good.
She certainly does. Thank you very much, Jenny. So Danielle opening that gap ever so slightly further as she comes through, and wow, isn't that a story? So Lana Rogers is now on her feet for the final run, but hot on her heels, Kendrick, is Courtney Hancock.
Yeah, Courtney has had the battle of her lifetime.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, Lana still looks strong. She looks quite light on her feet coming through. Look, she does look quite tired, as expected. You know, they're probably 3 hours down now racing, a bit over 3 hours, nearly 3.5 hours. But Courtney Hancock's looking strong, really strong.
Isn't she just? Jenny, we saw the gap that Lana, Danielle and Ali Bull put into the ski leg into Courtney and Georgia. Courtney has closed it back down. That's unbelievable. And there's Georgia Miller right there as well.
I have to tell you that this is another unexpected twist and turn that we've come to expect from the Coolangatta Gold. I did not think that Georgia and Courtney were going to be able to make up that distance. They are right there, and I could say both of them could still make the podium. This is huge. Can Lana Rogers hold on, our defending champion from last year? This is going to be a tight finish.
The men's title has just about been won. Ali Day, we joked, Kendrick, that it was going to be a victory lap on his way back in. He's high-fived just about every person that's been on the beach going past him. Even some of his competitors have high-fived him coming back the other way. A bit more intense in the battle for second place. That's Corey Taylor currently leading Matt Bevilacqua hot on his heels. The pair of them have dropped Taddy McDonald, so now that race for second is a race into Corey just getting a few liquids from his handler there as they come into this turn now with the pace really winding up. We know how talented these two are across the sand. Two really, really incredible runners, and we're starting to see that battle wind up now. So this one is going down to the wire, but the Coolangatta Gold title, well, that is sewn up. Ali Day is now into his final metres before title number 7, and Kendrick is soaking up every second.
This is awesome. This is amazing scenes here. I don't think I've ever seen anyone finish the gold like this with so much time on their hands to be able to really enjoy it and soak it up. And this guy's been able to do it 7 times now. And
it's great to see the crowd get an understanding for what they are witnessing as well, celebrating a champion like we have never seen before. Ali Day was already the most successful Ironman in Coolangatta Gold history with 6 wins. Now he is seconds away from claiming a 7th, and doesn't he love the look of that? You can see him soaking it up with the crowd now. That is fantastic to see.
Oh, look at that. The Surfers Paradise Surf Club, his mates, his coaches, his handlers. Like I said, this is a team effort. And here she is, Kel and Danny.
And there's Danny, just as predicted.
Good man.
He's gone across the line with his son Danny for his 7th Coolangatta Gold title. Ali Day, congratulations. We have never seen an athlete like it. Time and time again, he has come back from so many setbacks, but now is his crowning moment. Ali Day, the 2021 Coolangatta Gold champion. Ali Day soaking up every second. You can see the smile on his face, and I think Danny's getting a good feeling for it as well. Kendrick, 7 Coolangatta Gold titles, the greatest endurance Ironman that we have seen in all time. and the first Ironman to win the Grand Slam in the 1 year. Ali Day, congratulations. You are the 2021 Coolangatta Gold champion, back in the race that he loves so much and back on top.
Take a bow, Ali. That was an absolute clinical performance. You know, finishing it off with your son in your arms, crossing the line.
What a dream return to the Coolangatta Gold. It's been 3 years since he's been able to put his foot on the start line. We have seen so many incredible performances from Ali over the years, but I don't know if I've ever seen a performance like that. He's so strong in every leg, but when things didn't quite go to plan for him on that ski, when his competitors went with him, he remained relaxed, and to open up a gap like that is unbelievable. What a pleasure to be able to witness something like that. Josh Minogue is down there with our Coolangatta Gold champion, Ali Day.
Ali Day, 7 titles, mate. Does that one mean more because you've got the young fella there?
Oh, 100%, yeah. When I had it in my mind, if I was in front and Kel was out, I didn't say it to her, but get him to the finish line. He would have just woken up from his sleep. So, yeah, just one of those things that I wanted to grab him and, yeah, like that one. Oh, they're all special, mate, but, you know, today was like for her, I mean, for Kel and for Danny, that's for sure. It's you know, it seems easy to just go out and do that, but there's like a huge team behind me, mate, of people that get me here and just support me. So I felt that this morning, and that like came over like a wave of calmness on me, mate. So I knew that like the ski was going to be tough because there wasn't that much assistance, and I was just going to come down to a swim. So when the gap sort of broke, I just had to go put my head down, and I knew once I could find clear water, I'd be okay.
So the race for the podium finishes is still well and truly on. It looks as though Corey Taylor is coming through the field, currently in second place, looking really strong as he makes his way along the sand. Coming up the final finishing chute, this would be an incredible performance from Corey if he's to pull it off, Kendrick.
That last run lead with those 3 boys, man, that would have been very, very tough. You know, Ali had clear space, clear air at the front there, focusing on himself. These guys had to actually race a race there. And mate, Corey's done a tremendous effort pulling away from these boys. That's mental toughness and just true grit.
A blistering run leg sees Corey Taylor come across the line, second place in the 2021 Coolangatta Gold, opening a handy gap over Matt Bevilacqua and Taddy McDonald. That is an unbelievable final run leg from him, 8 kilometres across the sand for Corey. Gets his congratulations there from Ali, who should be really proud. And here's Matt Bevilacqua, who's coming towards the chute to round out the top 3. Blistering run legs from all of our competitors. A smile on his face. Bevy knows that he's done incredibly well to be pushing that elite company. Let's head back down to the beach with Josh Minogue, who has our runner-up, Corey Taylor.
That's it. I'm here with Corey Taylor, mate. Second today. You've got to be happy with that. Ali Day, just too strong.
Yeah, definitely. Like, he showed why he's the best and he's currently the strongest. He won everything last year and he's just backing it up with another win. We tried to stay with him and going into the swim, and I wasn't doing much because that's one of my weakest legs, but I was just sitting on the other boys and they couldn't even stay on him. He's just a fish out there, and it was just his day today. But happy with second. Last time in 2:19 I didn't even finish, so I was a bit nervous to hopefully get to the end today, so I'm stoked with the result.
An impressive result from Corey Taylor, but we need to get back to the women's field because there is major breaking news. Defending champion Lana Rogers is out of the Coolangatta Gold. She's been overcome with exhaustion and is being looked after by medical professionals, but she is in a stable condition. If that's not enough already in this race, you see the pictures there. Courtney Hancock has caught up to Danielle McKenzie at the front of the race. Just when we thought this one was over, the battle is back on. Kendrick, the big question now, when does one of these athletes try and make a move? Because there is not long left.
As soon as you turn these flags here, which they're probably about to do quite soon, if I was Courtney, I would go tighten the screws, put a bit of a gap on, and then it's up to Danny to respond.
Well, it's all downhill from here. Danielle McKenzie and Courtney Hancock have just made their final turn of the race, and they're heading back to Coolangatta Beach. You can see the pace starting to climb now, and there goes Courtney Hancock. The 3-time champion does not want this one to go down to the wire. She is winding up the pace.
she's taken her pace to a whole nother 2 levels, I think. Danny's trying to respond. She's trying to stay with her. Look, it wouldn't be a surprise if she went with her. However, Courtney's just looking fresh. You know, she's got the sunglasses on, in the zone, looking light and just ready to roll.
Looking really strong as Courtney Hancock makes her way back towards Coolangatta in pursuit of a 4th gold title.
Yeah, so I do feel really blessed to have won the race 3 times. I actually never would have thought that that could have ever been possible. Certainly my first one was very memorable, losing my grandfather the week before. He was such a huge mentor in my life and inspiration to me, and really helped me become the person I am today. 2011, I think I became professional. I think the year before that, gave up my job and everything like that, and so yeah, I felt like I was living my dream, and really since that day I really have. So if I was giving someone advice who was going into this and they really wanted to win, I think it's just having trust in yourself, and having trust in yourself not only in the race but also in the lead up. Don't question yourself, oh, have I done enough Ks, or have I done this, am I going fast enough? Because at the end of the day, if you have that confidence and belief in yourself and your coaches, everything really comes in together. I think if you want to win it, you know that you're going to have to suffer for 4 hours. You always want to finish the race knowing you've given absolutely everything, and if you haven't done that, at the end of the day, you haven't achieved. So I think in this race, I can pretty much say every athlete, they put their mind and body on the line, and I love that. I think that's what sport, being an athlete's all about. At the end of the day, you should be lying on the floor at the end of it. That's probably how most of us are going to end up. So that's really the goal. So
let's go. Welcome back to action in the Coolangatta Gold, because Danielle McKenzie has responded to the move. She's drawing alongside Courtney Hancock, and the battle for the 2021 title is going right down to the wire. We have Kendrick Louis, Australian Ironman champion, in commentary, but welcoming back Gemma Smith. Gemma, you finished 2nd in the 2019 Coolangatta Gold in scenes eerily similar to what we're seeing at the moment. This one is going down to the wire. What are these athletes thinking at the moment?
Oh, it's an absolute fantastic effort by Danielle McKenzie here. You saw Courtney Hancock before pull up alongside and overtake Danielle, but an absolutely gutsy effort for Danielle to pull back up alongside. You can see she's just taken back the lead, but the lungs here would be absolutely burning. The legs would be very heavy. It's going to be who can hang on with this pace for the longest.
Courtney slotting into Danielle's feet, but Danielle, you could see she got the message from her handler. Go, go, go. Now is the time to make your move, and she has responded. Kendrick, we spoke a little bit earlier about the decision to wear shoes versus not wear shoes. Now, one thing that I'm thinking about this hard sand at the moment is that they're also going to run back onto a concrete footpath soon in the crucial meters coming towards the finishing chute. How much of a difference do you think that will make?
You can just see it here. Danny looks comfy with shoes on. This is kind of the point where your legs start to get a little sore, your feet start to get a little sore. However, the course just keeps responding. It's you want to stay down on that wet sand, the hard sand, and she's doing it. She's cooling her feet off, and she's responding again. Now we have got a ding-dong battle. This is going to be a sprint finish, the last, I reckon, K and a half, 2 Ks.
Courtney Hancock versus Danielle McKenzie. The 2021 Coolangatta Gold title is going right down to the wire. It's going to be a spectacular finish, and it will be decided just after this. It isn't just the beautiful beaches that bring the crowds down to the water's edge here on the Gold Coast. The region has a proud history of supporting the arts. And for those who are dotting the Coolangatta coastline today, well, they are receiving another show. This is a Coolangatta Gold for the ages. After 42 kilometres of racing, the title will be decided in the final moments. And it's Courtney Hancock who is now edged in front. Now that lead is starting to stretch out further and further. Courtney Hancock extending her advantage over Danielle McKenzie and running towards history. In the Coolangatta Gold event, only 4 athletes have won it 3 times. That's Hayley Bader, Alicia Marriott, Elizabeth Plumers, and that woman on screen, Courtney Hancock. No one has claimed 4. But Courtney Hancock is now just seconds from doing that and becoming the most successful Iron Woman in Coolangatta Gold history if she can hold on. So now she goes up the stairs. You can see she's grabbing the handrail, helping to pull herself up as she gets onto the concrete and makes that last turn. Gemma, she must be getting excited now.
If you were Courtney Hancock right now, you would not be turning around. You would be going full steam ahead. Final few hundred metres to go. You can see there she's got that steely look of determination on her face. She is gunning for that finish line and she is not waiting for Danielle McKenzie.
Kendrick, how hard is it not to look over your shoulder? I can imagine that's all Courtney wants to do at the moment.
This is where you got to rely on your support crew. I think they would have told her, you know, you've put a bit of a gap on. Just finish it off, Courts. Just finish it really strong, and that's all you can do. That's all you can do from here. Empty the tank.
And doesn't she look strong as well? Courtney Hancock has had an incredible 2021, taking out the Shannon Eckstein Ironman Classic in a race that she said was one of the most important in her recent memory. There's the look over her shoulder now. Now she's checking to see where Danielle McKenzie is, because she knows that she is powering towards a record 4th Coolangatta Gold title. Now you can just pick back up.
Look at her, she is giving it everything she's got. You can see the Surfers Paradise guys were waving her to the finish line, telling her just to go for it. You've got 100 metres to go of soft sand. This will be the longest 100 metres, and I'm sure Gemma knows exactly what this is all about.
And it looks as though that lead has now been sewn up. Danielle McKenzie is no longer in the frame as Courtney Hancock powers towards a record 4th Coolangatta Gold title. She looks over her shoulder. Danielle McKenzie has fallen back. Gemma, she's going to get to soak up the finish.
Yes, you can see here Courtney Hancock, she's still going towards that finish line. She is not turning back. She knows now that she's got this victory as she comes up the finish chute.
And there it is, the final look over her shoulder and the first smile of the day. Courtney Hancock becomes the first Iron Woman in Coolangatta Gold history to claim 4 titles.
What an incredible performance by Courtney. She hung in there for dear life, chipped away all day and got the win.
And what a race from Danielle McKenzie, who's now crossing the line in 2nd place. She attacked from the start. She set the pace on the ski. She made up the distance in the swim to Lana Rogers, and even when it looked as though she was down for the count, she had one last burst at the end. You can see the respect between these two competitors. As exhausted as they are, they've both got smiles on their faces, and so they should, because that right there was a race for the history books. Danielle McKenzie and Courtney Hancock going toe-to-toe, with Courtney taking the win. A record 4th Coolangatta Gold victory. Let's go down to Coolangatta Beach now, because Jenny Parry is with our champion.
Sam, thank you so much. I'm down here with women's champion Courtney Hancock. Courtney creating history, not just to win today, the first women to take out 4 titles. This is huge.
I think when you do any event, like, you need a drive, and I always feel like that drive should be really pure. So this time 10 years ago, I won my first and lost my grandfather the week before, and last thing he said to me was, just get out there and do it for me. So like the whole way, I was just thinking of him, and it was an interesting race. I mean, I had to play catch up really from the get-go, and Denny's a really good friend of mine, and that's the closest she's gone before, so I really feel for her, but I'm just really happy I'm back, and I think that just shows that if you really put your mind to it and have that self-belief, you can do anything you want.
So there's Georgia Miller. She has a huge smile on her face. 3rd place in the 2021 Coolangatta Gold after what's been another incredible year for her. Really promising signs ahead of the Nutri-Grain series. Let's go back down to the beach with Jenny Parry, who is standing by with Danielle McKenzie.
Thanks so much, Sam. Danny, that was one of the toughest races that we've seen. How are you feeling right now?
Honestly, I'm probably feeling the best I've ever felt after a Coolie Gold. I think 2 years ago, when the last time we could actually race, I'm pretty certain I said for about 6 months straight that I was never going to do the Coolangatta Gold again, and it's just the after effects of the race. You just put everything on the line, and your body just gets so sore. But yeah, this time was a bit different. I did about 3-4 weeks of really hard training, and that was about it. So totally different build up, and probably almost worked in my favour. A little bit fresher.
So a huge congratulations to all of our athletes who finished the 2021 Coolangatta Gold. It was a grueling day out on the water, and there could only be one champion. Once again, it was Ali Day, a 7-time winner. And Kendrick, this is one he will be remembering for a long time.
What an absolute awesome effort by Ali, but also the team involved. It takes a lot to get to the start line, and it just showed he dominated. And the rest of the field, you know, Bevy and Corey Taylor rounding out the podium. It shows that winning is nice, but it's not everything. And these boys were pumped with their results.
Well, let's take a look at the female results now, and it is Courtney Hancock, the first ever 4-time winner of the Coolangatta Gold. Her record-breaking performance saw her finish ahead of Danielle McKenzie and Georgia Miller. And Gemma, wow, that race really did have it all.
It sure did. It was an exciting race to watch. An amazing effort from Courtney Hancock to claw her way back from that opening ski leg to gradually peg everyone back one by one and stand atop of the podium today. An absolutely phenomenal effort by her, but also Danielle McKenzie led the race out from the start, and then Georgia Miller as a late entrant to come away with the 3rd place. It was a phenomenal effort.
So it was a Coolangatta Gold like no other, and it served up twists and turns like we have never seen before. Congratulations to Ali Day and Courtney Hancock, our 2021 champions, as well as all of the athletes who were able to take part in the event. A huge thank you to Gemma Smith and Kendrick Louis for joining us today with your time.
Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to watch.
And thank you to everyone watching at home. This has been the 2021 Coolangatta Gold.